Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to learn about the passive voice in the simple present tense. We will learn how to focus on the action and not on the person doing it. So, what is the passive voice? In an active voice sentence, we focus on who does the action, which is the doer. But in a passive voice sentence, we focus on what happens, the action itself, and not who does it. We use the passive voice whenever we want to focus on the action rather than the person performing it. Let's look at our first example of changing an active sentence into a passive sentence. In the active sentence, we say, Sam stacks the books on the shelf. Here, Sam is the doer, stacks is the action, and the books receive the action. When we turn this into a passive sentence, we say, the books are stacked on the shelf by Sam. Notice how the object, the books, becomes the subject at the beginning of the passive sentence. The doer, Sam, moves all the way to the end after the word by. Our second example shows how to add the doer. We can include the person who did the action when they are known or important. For example, the sandcastle is built by Anna and Tom. Here is our key rule. Always add by directly before the name of the doer in a passive sentence. The structure follows a clear pattern. We start with the subject, add is, am, or are, put the past participle verb, and then add by followed by the doer. For example, the sandcastle is built by Anna and Tom. Our third example shows what happens when we have an unknown doer. When we use the passive voice, the person doing the action is often unknown. In that case, we simply leave out by and the doer. Look at this sentence. The treehouse is built. We do not know who builds the treehouse, so we leave off by at the end. Remember, if the doer is unknown or not important, it is perfectly correct to leave them out of your passive sentence. Our fourth example shows how to form the passive voice step by step. The passive is formed using a be verb, like is, am, or are, followed by the past participle of the main verb, such as cleaned, eaten, or done. Let's build a sentence together. First, start with the subject, the park bench. Second, add the be verb, is. Third, add the past participle, cleaned. Fourth, add by and the doer, by Emma. Put it all together, and we get, the park bench is cleaned by Emma. In example 5, let's compare active and passive sentences. Active and passive sentences express the exact same meaning, just with a different focus. Study this pair carefully. In the passive voice, we say, the books are dropped by Lucy. The focus here is on the books and what is happening to them. In the active voice, we say, Lucy drops the books. The focus here is on Lucy, who is doing the action. Both sentences are completely correct. The passive voice simply changes what we choose to focus on. In example 6, we look at passives with modals. When a sentence has a modal verb like can, must, or should, we add be right after the modal before adding the past participle. For example, it is correct to say, these cans can be reused. Here, we use the modal can, followed by be, and then the past participle reused. It is incorrect to say, these cans can reused. Remember, never skip be after a modal verb. Always follow the pattern. Modal verb plus be plus past participle. Now it is your turn. Let's practice together. Look at each question carefully. Think about the subject, the verb, and whether to include by and the doer. You can do it. Question 1. Change this sentence to the passive voice. The gardener waters the flowers. Think about it. What is the object? What is the correct form of be? What is the past participle of water? The answer is, the flowers are watered by the gardener. Question 2. Change this sentence to the passive voice. Daniel lights a candle. Think carefully. What is the object? What is the past participle of light? Remember, light is an irregular verb. The answer is, a candle is lit by Daniel. Question 3. Change this sentence to the passive voice. Mom cleans the windows every week. Think about it. What is the subject of the passive sentence? Don't forget to keep the time phrase every week at the end of the sentence. The answer is, the windows are cleaned by Mom every week. Question 4. Change this sentence to the passive voice. Dad feeds the dog every morning. Think carefully. What is the object of the active sentence? What is the past participle of feed? Keep the time phrase every morning in its place. The answer is, the dog is fed by Dad every morning. Question 5. Build a passive sentence using the words the milk bottle, turn into, and a vase. Use those words to write a full passive sentence in the simple present tense. No doer is given, so leave it out. The answer is, the milk bottle is turned into a vase. Question 6. Answer this question in the passive voice. Can old toys be given to charity? Answer the question in a full sentence using the passive voice. Start with yes and write a complete passive response. The answer is yes, old toys can be given to charity. Well done! You have learned all about the passive voice. Let's review what we learned today. What is it? It focuses on the action, not the doer. How do we form it? We use is, am, or are plus the past participle. How do we add the doer? We use by plus the doer when they are known. And how do we use it with modals? We use the modal plus be plus the past participle. Fantastic work today.